Hi, my name's Kim. Welcome to Roger's Daughter Reads. I'm going to cut my August wrap up in half. These books are due today, so they're actually going to be late to the library.
How dare you!
Oh well. Some of them I own, like this one. If I have any footage of Get a Life Chloe Brown, I'll add it here. But I don't remember. I gave this one 2 stars. Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I won't be picking up any more of these. I got this from Goodwill, and that's why I bought it. I've heard good and bad things. It's about Chloe and Red. He was nice. She was not so nice. And she slowly came out of her shell and started to get a little bit nicer. But they went from, I dislike you a lot, to this very abiding love. Like just this deep, I'll care for you forever love. Insta love is not my thing. Is it yours? If so, pick it up. It's not mine. I obviously don't recommend it. It's a no for me. This one is a yes. This is a yes. The Last Word by Taylor Adams. So this one, I might have some footage for this one. I'm taking the dogs out because what else would I be doing? Trying to stay in the shade. We're getting a little bit of fall weather. I only say that because it's not 90s, it's in the 80s. And we had a high 70s day this week, and the humidity was cut, and I thought that feels like fall. Update on The Last Word. Loved it. Gave it 4 stars. Read it. Go get it. Read it now. Anytime I wasn't reading it, I wanted to be reading it. You step into the action immediately, and it never ends. So for me, if we've got Ruth Ware here, and then Riley Sager here, Taylor Adams is up here. As far as those dull moments that are just building the story.
It's a big, nasty spider. No thanks.
Whew, it's a wild day. I feel like things are flying at me and touching me. Anyway, 4 stars, like I said. It wasn't a 5 only because I feel like No Exit was a 5. No Exit had me in like a, if you will. Like I just didn't see a way out for the protagonist. And I saw a few ways out for this protagonist. I would say if I hadn't have read No Exit by this author, then I would have given this book 5 stars. But compared with that book, not a lot compares for me with No Exit. It is so, so good.
More flying animals. Like that has to be an animal that was so big.
Oh, Indy's pooping. You don't want to see this. You don't have to. I'm not going to show you. This book does something that is rare. What happens at the end, again, like any great thriller, you go back and forth. I did not guess. I guessed part of this ending. But, I mean, no, who knows if you will or not. But I definitely didn't foresee what happened at the end coming. And I couldn't believe that this was the decision the author made. It was a good one. But it's just very unusual. I still can't believe that he made that decision. That's The Last Word. I'm gonna give it back to the library, I guess, next week when I drive by. Next, I read The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I didn't really like this one. It was free. Somebody gave it to me. I don't remember who. It's waterlogged. I didn't do this. I don't know what happened to it. It's had a journey, and it's gonna have another one because it's gonna go to Goodwill. It's a romance. It's a grumpy sunshine. I liked Zara, the female main character. I liked her. She really cares about the people around her. She's a positive person. She's the type of person that I'm drawn to. Rowan is the type of person that repels me. He's self-centered, rich, completely into himself and money and success, and not really about people. Obviously, there's some character growth here. Do I think it happens very quickly? Yes. Do I think it happens for the right reasons? No. I think he's motivated by a new relationship, if you know what I mean. And I wouldn't have given him a second of my time. I don't care if it's been 30 days and I feel like you've changed for 30 days. You showed me who you were at the beginning, and I'm not interested. Now, granted, I'm just not attracted to the bad guy. What attracts me to someone of the opposite sex is, how kind are you? That drives me wild. Like, how nice are you? How loving and kind and caring and empathetic are you? So obviously this wouldn't be for me. But if you're into it, go for it. I really like how floppy this book is. I like the cover. I like the feeling of the book. That matters to me. I like it. Did I say my rating? I think I gave this 2 stars. 2.5, 3, 2.5, 2. Just never mind. Don't worry about that. Next is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I know I have some footage of me reading this. Housemaid, the housekeeper. The analogy I have is getting in the cockpit of an airplane, which I've never been in. But close the door, you hit the throttle, and you're just off on a journey. You can't wait to get to the end, but you're enjoying the ride. I may be like 200 pages in, and I love it. It's going so fast, but it's consistent and steady. And it's one of those really satisfying reads. This is going to be a very quick little update. I had a cancellation this morning, very last minute. I finished the last 15 or so pages of The Housemaid. I loved it. The end. 5 stars. I rate based on my enjoyment. Anything political that pulled me out of it, I'll take a star off. There wasn't anything like that. It's worth the hype. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Okay, editing Kim here. Sorry about the glare on the glasses. I noticed that no iteration of me in any of this footage actually talked about the premise of The Housemaid. So The Housemaid is about, you guessed it. Do I need to say it? It's a girl. I don't remember her name, but I don't have it with me. The housemaid. She has had a bit of a checkered past, and she gets this job in a wealthy home with 1 child, and all she has to do is some light cooking and house cleaning. She goes, and somebody locks her in one of the rooms. Now, in my TBR, I had said, man, that sounds really boring, but it isn't. It is not boring at all. It takes a while to get there. From day one, you know that she's made the wrong choice, but you can also see that she really doesn't have other options. She's got a parole officer, I believe, that has to keep up with her and knows if she loses her job, and then if she breaks her parole in any way, she could go back to prison. So, is that the right book? This girl was in prison, right? Yes. And she's controlled that way. There were times after the 200-page mark, this gets intensely uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to read this, but I must know. We're going down a road that I don't want to go down. I want to know about it, but I don't want to go with you. And this lady kind of makes you come along with her. Next is a book I read on Kindle that I just realized I didn't log. Well, I would say it's 3.5, 4 stars. Alison Weir's 6 Tudor Queens. This is Catherine Howard, the Scandalous Queen. This is number 5. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. I just finished this is the 5th wife of Henry VIII, Catherine Howard, the Scandalous Queen. I would say that this is definitely not my favorite in the series, but I don't think it's the writing or anything like that. This queen, she's like a partier, and she's so young, and I can't understand her motivations and the cheating and things like that. So it's hard for me to step into her shoes. She's the one who was very young and was kind of left to her own devices as a kid, and so she did a lot of stuff that she shouldn't have done. She had a quite lascivious upbringing and just had free reign of where she was living. She really didn't have a lot of home training.
Up here in Elk Snout, ma'am, see, we don't know about them closets, nor bathrooms neither.
And it blew up in her face. She kept it from the king, but you know, she was put into place kind of like Anne Boleyn was by her family, like pushed in front of the king, and your family's pressuring you to marry this monarch, and you don't want to. You know, Anne Boleyn was one thing, but by this time, this big, grand, handsome king is now old and overweight, and he's got a open wound in his legs, and they stink, and so she does fall in love with Henry VIII, but she didn't want to marry him. She was already in love with someone and married. So by a pre-contract, she had no choice. And of course, she's getting to know the king. He's falling in love. He's giving her lots of gifts. And at this point, so much pressure from everyone. And then once you belong to the king, once he's got his mark on you, that's it. You're either his mistress or you become, you know, his wife. I can understand where she felt like trapped. There is no understanding the choices she made after being married to the king, you know, falling in love with a gentleman of the Privy Chamber and having a relationship with him. That seems just the height of stupidity to me, but she did it. And so we hear a lot about that dalliance and the covering it up and the secrecy and the danger around that, and we just didn't see a lot that was going on with Henry. And I really like the fictional day-to-day of what's going on with Henry VIII. By this time, he's in bed a lot, he's sick a lot, we just don't see a lot of him, and she didn't either. So she had time to go and do what she wanted to do, and she was beheaded for it. So off with her head too. Anyway, 3 stars. Catherine Howard, the scandalous queen. There's one more queen after this. I'm listening to this audiobook now. And is that it? So it's mid-month and I have read 5 books. That's not really good. Has this been like this the whole time? And you didn't say anything? You just need to say, hey, I'm distracted by your crazy hair. And I'll fix it for you. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta tell me, okay?